legs today. Yeah, before I kind of start, I just like to wiggle them around a little bit. Just loose. When I or have them bending, or have them going back to straight again, I always think of this heel like addressing his sits bones. That's always a kind of orientation I use. Just have them wiggle around a little bit, loosen them. And for lifting it, I put my hand under his knee here. And I just fall into them a little bit, and there's something moving, and then just push from this side towards his sits bones, so that I really have this nice connection, sits bones, heel. And when somebody wants me to explain how this leg can stand easily like that, I used to say, so there's this thigh melting its weight into your hip joint. Just say that and see if that's away from the knee. See if you can loosen that thigh and just have it melt like towards his hip joint, which is in here. So there's really just the ball of, yeah, there you go. Now, it's a receiving of that weight in your hip joint while giving the weight of your lower leg into the ankle. So I'm going to try that. See if you can think it. Very nice. This is easier. So you get already some information about his body map, how it is working. So this way was way easier for him to think than that way. So we go back to this way. And you just let that thigh have it receive in your right hip joints. But now I can feel him taking in the idea. There's some release, some melting, but there's not really a clarity about his left hip joint. But that's just okay for now. I'm going. Now I invite him to think both at the same time. Letting go of the upper leg towards the hip joint and the lower leg towards the ankle. There he goes. That's it. And while that happens, this knee somehow opens like a flower or whatever. Use, if you want to say it, you find it in all those Alexander books that the knees should point up, which I find a little bit difficult to say that. So releasing these two into hip joint and ankle, just finding the ground, letting go. Now letting go opens the knee in a way that it shows watches the ceiling. And in order to stabilize that triangle, there's this one thought from your sits bones to your heel, so you can find some stability. Okay. There you go. And this is just something for the person to remember when he's doing it on his own, just when he uses little body scan on it. Yeah. And then I somehow just make contact with this shin, either or this way, and I just have this contact on, walk back myself and have this way of joining him, or I'm here, walk forward and have this way, change hands. So, always aware of his hip joint, like always having it melt, have the weight melting into that joint, and then I put my other hand under his heel, and again a tiny little thought towards his sits bones, and then I just try to find a loose situation here and invite him to release into my, that's it, hand here. And again, when that happens, when there's a nice release, I let that go again, away. And maybe give a little tiny And I can do this many times. Just push here, lift there, push again here. So, does this make sense? Can you?
Mm-hmm. So I'm noticing that you allow it to go through a spiral of external rotation until it comes
That's
to...
what he does.
That's what he
bit.
does.
That's
So you're
all
following
the
his
stuff
pattern.
you're noticing. Yeah, I'm. This is his pattern. This is clearly the way he prefers to go. So I can play around with it. I can see, okay, from here I'm addressing the knee in a slightly different angle. Always see that I have myself in a good angle. And now I could, from here, invite him to just take this way. So
Yeah.
it's different. So there we go. Or I directly follow this sequence. Since I have him doing something new, finding some other pathway. So just releasing into this. Every little moment he gives way to me. I'm not pushing, I'm falling into just as much as he gives way. And to verbalize it, I say, think the long way from your lower back along your butt. From here, don't pull your thigh towards your so that's the difference. And release your lower back into the table as well as your sacrum. And now again, so it's just a nice way. And then it kind of springs from here back into the heel. I use to control this knee, that it doesn't fall out of. And then a nice rest here again. Okay. Softening in his area here. Yeah. Maybe I do that a few times, maybe even at different angles. But this way, this one I really like to use this way. It's very easy, just these moments. Then I like to say hello. Just since this is just nice hanging around here, I take all of those toes, or at least 4 of them, with an emphasis to the big one. Just see. Come back under his heels again. Maybe even drop it down to the table. Make sure every time, it's important to pause. Every time you pause, you try to find some release and then see him letting go this knee, heel away from the sit bones. So, wiggle around, getting under that leg, pushing from the heel, finding some way onto here, maybe then explain and experience the whole triangle, closing here, lightening here, opening beneath the knee, a thought from his sits bone to his heel. Yeah, it's so cool, really cool. Then I take over this leg again, like this, or like that. It's just a matter of finding your ground and then and then falling in, springing off, falling in, on. You could even pull a little bit here to find a nice response in his knee.